In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Adobe Spark for the final project. First things first, let's go to the final project instructions. You can get to those either through the syllabus or via the final project tab, which if you scroll down is over here in our menu in Blackboard. So I'm going to click there to show you what's in here. Once I've created this video and the other one that's going to go with it that will talk about sources in more detail, I will post both of those in here as well, and I will also add some links to the videos in the final project instructions. So the first thing in this list are the instructions for the project. All right, so here we are in the Google Doc that contains the description of what you'll be doing for the final project. So do remember, I'm not going to go over all of the details here because I want this to mostly be about showing you how to do the work in Adobe Spark. So I'm going to scroll down. Do remember each of the intermediate due dates for the various steps of the project. The first step will be to choose your topic and your research question. The second will be to submit a bibliography, a list of sources. And then the last one will be to complete your annotated bibliography of your sources in Adobe Spark. So there's an explanation of each of those steps here, but I'm going to scroll down to the one that talks about using Adobe Spark. Here we are. Again, you can read through these as you have time, but there are links. All of these are live, and they're resources for helping you to complete the assignment. This one's important because it takes you to Adobe Spark. You may or may not have used this before. What Adobe Spark does is it helps you create web pages. You can also create videos or memes or different social media elements with Spark, but we'll be using the Spark page feature. So when you go here, you can look around and scroll down and get some ideas about how to use Spark, what you can do with it, and so on. I'm going to go back up to the top, though, because what we'll be doing is just logging in. So if you already have a Spark account or an Adobe account, you can click Login. If not, click Start Now for free. That will take you here. Depending on how fast your internet connection is. If you have an Adobe ID, you can use that. If not, though, you can just sign up for free, either with an email account, you can use your Google account, or your Facebook account. I use my Google account because it's easy for me to do. And let's see what we get here. So since I've already been in here, it just takes me to the front page where I have a couple of Spark pages that I'm already working on. So everything that you've completed or are working on will be here. This is just some stuff that the people at Spark want you to use. You can ignore it. Let's see, for our intents and purposes, what you'll do when you get to this point is click the plus, and that will let you create a new project. As I mentioned, we'll be using the page feature. Don't use post or video because that just won't give you the right template for the kind of project that we're doing. So click page. You'll see everything's better with sparkles. You can get here. So this is a blank page. This is where you start. There are a lot of ways that you can customize what you're doing. You can use the themes button to have a different kind of theme, different font, and so on. That's totally up to you. Be as creative as you would like with this project. For our purposes here, I'm just going to show you kind of the basics. So you just click on Add a Title, and you can type your title there. Once you're ready to add a subtitle, you might want to post your research question as the subtitle, perhaps. Oops, you might want to spell it right. For example, and then you can add a photo. When you get to this point, this button pops up after you click on photo. If you have a photo you'd like to use on your computer, you can click Upload Photo and then follow the steps to upload that. You just go and find it wherever it's located on your computer. Or you can find free photos You don't necessarily have to use any of these. These three are Adobe products, so if you don't already have an account to use those, don't worry about it. If you have a Dropbox account with some photos in there, you could link your Dropbox account and add photos that way. Same thing with Google Photos. But again, you don't need to do that. You can just upload photos from your computer or click Find Free Photos. This just gives you things that are Creative Commons licensed. So I'm just going to type New Mexico and see what comes up to show you how this works. So this gives us a few different things that we could choose from. You can scroll down and see how many different things there are. I'm going to choose this one. That looks very New Mexico to me. And so you can see, again, your title, your research question is there, and you've added a photo. You're going to want to add photos to customize your annotated bibliography. Again, be as creative as you would like. Adobe Spark is the kind of tool that allows you to make a multimedia, but also just a visual-based kind of story. So as it says, scroll to start writing your story. If you decided you don't like the photo that you chose, you can click this little arrow here, and you can replace it. You can choose a focal point to refocus where the photo is shown from, or you could delete it, depending on what you want to do. For our purposes, I'm just going to scroll down. This little plus pops up these options. So once you get here, you can add text, a photo, a button, a video. This is especially good if some of your sources are YouTube or Vimeo videos. You can just click this button and add them directly here. All you need to do is have the URL for the video that you're going to embed. If you're not ready to do that, you can scroll down and hit cancel. I can't do that because the screencast that I'm using is in the way. You can't see it, but I could. There we go. Or if you just click off of it, it'll go away. So that's how you get started. I want to go then to, if you click over here on this little Spark icon, that will take you back to your home page. I want to show you this one I already started. So when you're in the middle of working on one, you can leave, go away, and then come back to it. Spark automatically saves your work. So I'm going to click Edit to open the story I've already been working on. So here we are, New Mexico History, Intercession, Final Project. What I'm doing with this example, and I'll have a link to this in the final project instructions, which I showed you over here in this other tab once I finish it. This is an example of how the story should look, but it also gives you pointers as you go along. So in Adobe Spark, you can see, again, not only an example, but get some pointers from me on what to do. And I'm going to build this one here with you to show you how it works. The main kind of pointer that I have for you is to write your work in a Word document or a Google document or similar, something like that, whatever word processor you have, so that you can save a copy of your own work somewhere that isn't here in Spark. I've had good experience with it so far, but that doesn't mean that there aren't problems. That doesn't mean that a weak internet connection might cause you to lose everything that you've done. I don't want that to happen to you, so please, please, please do your work in a Google Doc or similar first. So let's go over here. So I already have done the work on my Google Doc. I'm going to open it. You have this example embedded, as I just showed you, in the final project instructions, so you can access this and take a look at it. Once you have your work already written, it's easy to just copy and paste things over into Spark. So what I'm going to do that. I already have this first, so as you saw, the title, the subtitle, the first paragraph, that's already there in the project that I just showed you. So let's go ahead and put this next paragraph in. I'm not going to talk as much about the content of this as I might otherwise, because I wanted to show you how to work this stuff over here. You can go ahead and just add more text. That will just continue kind of this white background with a bunch of text on it. Or you can find a photo. Just for the sake of argument, I'm going to see what they have for Los Alamos, because that's the hypothetical that I'm working on. All right, we'll use the Los Alamos city flag. And so what you can do then, once you've chosen this photo, and you'll see it'll actually come into focus once it loads completely. If I click on it, I can choose to have it inline. That's the way it's showing right now. Or I can have it fill the screen. If I do that, then I have the option of creating a caption. So if I just click there, I could actually paste my whole paragraph into this photo. You'll notice, though, this is a little bit long for a paragraph, or my paragraph's a little bit long for the photo, because as I scroll down, you see the photo, but the paragraph doesn't quite stay in focus long enough to actually read it. So that's not a good idea. So let's go back, click on the photo. What I want to do then is see, maybe I want it as a window. That still gives me this caption option, but what I can do is just go ahead and delete that, and then hit this plus and add my text below it. So what I'm getting at here is that you might have to play with this a little bit and see what works for you in terms of building your project. One of the coolest things I want to show you, though, is the thing called the glide show. And so what this does, again, you can use the free photos, or you can push this back button. You can upload photos. You can save them to your computer or Dropbox from Google Images or whatever it is online, so that you can find the correct images to go with your project. I'm just going to use the free photos because I haven't done all of that work yet. But I want to have Robert Oppenheimer, or actually, I did do part of that work. So let's go over here, Dropbox. It's going to make me connect my Dropbox account because it always does. It doesn't remember it for some reason. So I hit allow. I'm logged in on my computers. If I wasn't, I'd have to log into Dropbox. All right. Takes just a minute. So here we are, back at the project. Scroll down to where I was working. I don't have to have a caption there. I can leave that blank. Once the project's done, it won't look like that. I wanted to create the glide show. My Dropbox is connected now, as you can see. So I click this and I go to my photos. And here's my picture of Oppenheimer and Leslie Groves. So that's the first one I want in here. I'm going to go back over here, one more, and see if I can find something about the Manhattan Project. A lot of these are pictures of Manhattan. I looked at this before. I believe, though, there was one or two that would work. Maybe not. There we go. Radiation emblem, that, of course, is from the Manhattan Project that we're talking about, the creation of the atomic bomb. So I'm going to use that one. And then I'm going to pick one more photo. We'll do it here again. And I'm going to do Trinity site. But I'm going to spell it right. There we go. And we'll see. Here we are. There's one. So this is this isn't the Trinity test. As you can see, this is one of the tests in the South Pacific. You can see the palm trees, the ocean there, but it is an atomic test. And so we're going to use that one just for the sake of argument here. So I've just chosen 3 photos for my glide show. I'm going to click Save. Now, when I go back over to here, I realize maybe those aren't the photos I want because they're too focused in. But what you'll notice is I have my second paragraph, and as I scroll down, I see this image, and I have this text box. So I'm going to click there, choose text. I'm going to go back to my document, and I'm going to use this first primary source. Click Control-C, and again, text, paste it over here. All right, so there we are. And it will actually work with the glide show in terms of letting you scroll down through all of the text and then continue on to the next one. So I'm going to go get the next paragraph that I want to use. I'm going to put that here. And let's see. All right. And then I'm going to scroll. And of course, you could add either a button. So the button allows you to have a link to a website. So if I wanted, for example, let me go back over here. If I wanted to link to the source that I have here, I'm just going to copy that URL. So all I did is copy this URL. And then I go back to my project. I'm going to hit cancel because it doesn't actually go with this paragraph. It goes the one above. Hit plus, choose button, edit the button. So I can here's what it says. I'm going to say link to primary source. You can be more creative than that. I'm just hurrying through this to show you how to do it. I want to center the button, I think. I hit save. There it is. So now in the project, as you scroll down, you won't just have the static URL up here, but after you read what I wrote, my annotation, you can click and link to it. All right, there's the next paragraph, and I'm going to scroll to the last image and then grab this last, scroll down here, this alternate example that I chose. So let's click Control C and text. There we go. And as you can see, it keeps the separation of paragraphs, that kind of formatting. You can, if you want, let me highlight this, and I could make that a link. So I could make that an active hyperlink if I want to. So let me actually just Control C. So I have the URL. I'll tap on it again. Whoops. It doesn't like me. Let me highlight it and then click this little link. I'll paste the URL in there and click save. And now this is actually an active link. And you saw I accidentally clicked on that photo. So if you don't have the right photos in your glide show, you can change those out after the fact. I would probably want to do that with all of mine, as I mentioned. So let me scroll down here. All right, so that's the end of what I have. Here I'm going to go ahead and just make a text section and post in the last bit. So and when I go away, that goes away. All right, so that's my conclusion right there. All right, so this is essentially how you do it. You, of course, will, as I've shown, you'll have the bibliographic entry for each of your sources, and then you'll have a annotation paragraph. So that's the example I've given there. You'll do that for all of your sources. You don't necessarily have to do that in a glide show. You could do it however you want, as long as you have the bibliographic entry for the source and an annotation paragraph. You can format your page however you'd like it to be. You can be as creative as you'd like. I've just shown you kind of one way to do it. So now that I'm done with this, I can go ahead and share it. This, for me, is an education category. So I chose the category. What is this? Oh, it shows the author and the photo credits. I think that's important. If I don't want it to be on the Spark website, I can click that off. Then I hit Create Link. It takes just a second. And when I said that you want to go and post your link in the final submission area, you will click this copy button, and that copies the link, the URL. So I've copied it. If you should also tweet it to the class. So you click Twitter, and this gives you a kind of pre-written tweet. I'm going to say, here's my final project example. Then I'm going to include our class hashtag, which is HIST2260, #HIST2260, and then I'm going to click tweet. You will all be able to find that in the course hashtag feed for our class as well as you get going. All right, so that's how you share it. Remember, I copied this. I can go all the way back over to the Final Project tab in Blackboard. And as you scroll down, there will be those videos here. And below that, here is where you will submit your topic. Here's where you submit the list of sources. And here is where you will submit your final project, the link itself that I just copied. You can post that into a Word document and then upload it, or you can just click Write Submission. It gives you the text box, and you can go like this. That's fine. That won't, just doing this and then clicking Submit, that will work. You can also highlight it. There's an extra step in Blackboard if you want to make it a clickable link for me. You go to this link button. It will open either a pop-up window or a new tab, and then you paste the link in there. Choose to open it in a new window, because if you don't, it won't open correctly when it tries to open in Blackboard. And now you'll notice that looks like a hyperlink. That's how you do hyperlinks everywhere in Blackboard. And then you just go ahead and click Submit. And you're done. And this is what I will see when I go to grade your work. I hope that's helpful. Please let me know what questions you have in the next shorter video tutorial. At least I hope it's shorter. I'll talk a little bit more about sources.